رباه عفوك إني للنور مدت يداي نزعت أسرار قلبي وجئت ألقي أسايا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May peace be upon every single one of us. May peace be upon all the inhabitants of this earth. And may Allah Almighty grant us all good guidance and grant us the best of this world and the next. Ameen. I didn't really say exactly what the MC said I said, but let me say what I did say. I will not stop for photos because we didn't come here to take photos, but you can take as many photos as you want without stopping me. That's roughly what I said. So to ask me, can I take a picture? You don't need to ask because you're already taking pictures. Secondly is, if you want me to stop to take a picture, it's not going to be possible because we will be walking and there are so many people, and mashallah, I'm delighted to be at this venue, mashallah. The center of excellence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us excellence. If you were to count the grains of sand in the deserts of Arabia, would you be able to count them? No matter how advanced technology is, you might be able to count grains of sand within a small space, but not in the desert. Do you realize that every grain of sand in the desert of Arabia and every grain of sand all over the world is not only created by Allah Almighty, but He knows about it and He is in control of it, subhanallah, the grain of sand. Similarly, every droplet of water, and you and I know if I were to take a cup of water, how many molecules of H2O there are in there is almost impossible to count. Imagine the ocean. We see the Atlantic Ocean and we see so many other oceans. Do you know that Allah Almighty is aware of every single droplet of water? Not only aware, but in control of the droplet. And do you realize these are only two things we're speaking about, but there are rocks, there's formation, there is a lot under the ground, there are so many other things, the birds, the ants, the creatures are unknown to us. Many of you living here in Trinidad and Tobago, you would probably have done some scuba diving at some point, looking at the life under the water. I've had the good fortune of being, to a certain extent, among those who did a bit of a scuba dive, and I tell you something, it is mind-boggling just to see the type of fish, just to see the movement, to see what there is. It is just mind-boggling. Every single creature is created by Allah. Nothing comes about by coincidence. People say, well, man just appeared, man just popped out of nowhere, and everything else just popped out of nowhere. You and I know for a fact that if you have a hat on your head, it can never ever find its way on your head. How do you think you in your entirety found your way onto earth? When just your hat cannot get onto your head, nothing. Your clothing cannot just suddenly grow on a tree, or you find, wow, there is clothing that fits me, that's suddenly under the ground. It's from wherever, or we found it in the ocean, or the cotton plantation had something my size. Impossible. You would be mental if you actually thought that. So if it is impossible for something that you and I have to put on us to just have popped out of nowhere, don't you think that it would be absolutely impossible for us in our entirety to pop out of nowhere or to just be there? So from this, we as believers have always believed that there is a maker who made us. Just like I know for a fact, that the vehicles we find here in the city, Port of Spain, are manufactured. And people had to go to the mountains and wherever else to mine the steel and whatever else it may have been until we had aluminum and steel and so much more, and together we produced a motor vehicle. We know that we were made by a creator. He created everything. And we also know that we are only on earth for a short period of time. How do I know that? Because others have left before me. People have left in my lifetime. People younger than me, older than me, my age. I've seen them go. So I know I have to also go. You have to go. We all have to go. Do you have an option? No. You don't have an option. You're going to go. Where are you going to go? Well, I can